What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is FewestWriter and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to install bukkit plugins or spigot plugins to your Minecraft server. First off, let's go ahead and go to your server place or wherever you have your server. Make sure the server is stopped and make sure you have ran your server at least once. Alright? Now, I want you to go to version. With Triangle.gs, this private server community place, they have actually recently added these to actually help you set up your server and to add custom jar files for you. As you can tell. But we're going to go past that. Now, I want you to click custom and ask, are you sure you want to update your server to custom? Hit OK or yes. Now, after you've done that, make sure you go to the FTP tab. Create a new FTP account. As you can tell, I already got my stuff set in. It's just create and hit create FTP account. And there you go. Now, I want you to now go to this tab right here. I'll be putting links in the description for you guys. Now, this is the updated version for 1.8. It tells you what the requirements are and all that. Now, if you have a Linux, you follow this right here. However, if you don't have Linux and you have Windows, this is actually what you have to do. Now, it says installing Git. You need a tool named Git installed in order to download the server sources for compilation on Windows. I will have a link in the description for the Git program itself. Now, when you are on the Git, hit download. Go ahead and let it download and then open it. Now, click next, next. If you would like, usually it won't actually have that. It won't have this at all. It will just have all this. If you would like, go ahead and click on the desktop. As you can tell, I already have it on here, but I'm going to go ahead and download it again for you guys. Hit next. Don't mess with anything on here. It's best not to. Unless you advanced with what you're doing, I recommend not messing with anything. Hit next. Now, this is the same thing. If you're more advanced, go ahead and mess with it as much as you want. For now, just leave it as is. For Windows users only. Ignore that. Just go ahead and download it. Let it install onto your computer. It's a pretty lengthy process, so I'll go ahead and pause the video here and bring you back when it's done. After you finish installing it, go ahead and uncheck that and hit finish. Now, there are two ways to actually go about getting it. Obviously, it tells you download tools.jar. There are a number of ways to download build tools. You could either download it straight from your browser by clicking this link here, which will open this tab up and automatically download it down here. Windows, Mac OS X, and most Linux use the curl to download it. The curl is right here. I'll make sure I'll put the link in the description for you guys to do that. Now, next thing to do is to run build tools itself. But before you do that, because I had trouble actually doing this the first time, so I clicked this tab here, and this tab actually helps out quite a lot if you run into a few problems. Now it tells you to download Git. you should already have that. Now it tells you to download glitchy.jar. You should already have that next. Now, after you do that, I want you to follow the steps as I do. Now, go ahead and minimize everything. I want you to create a new folder. You can name it whatever you want. Now take the buildtools.jar that you just downloaded, open up the folder itself, drag, whoopsie-daisy, drag the buildtools.jar inside of there. Now, right-click inside of the folder, not on the program, not buildtools itself, the folder itself, and right-click and click Git Bash. It'll open this up right here. Now, from here, open up the tab itself again, and find where it says java-jar buildtools.jar. You want to run that. It's on both sides right here. It's here and here. Now, go here and type in and go java-jar space buildtools.jar. I will warn you before you start, it is a pretty lengthy process. Very lengthy, to be exact. I will pause the recording here. You know what, actually I'll go ahead and start it, but you'll see how long it actually is. As you can tell, it's starting up very, very slowly. So I'll go ahead and pause the recording here and bring it back when it's completely finished. Now that it's finished, I already had a backup of doing this previously, of testing it out and seeing how it worked. So after it's finished, you go to spigot-server, target, and where it says spigot-1.8-r0.1-snapshot, that is the server.jar you actually want. Go ahead and copy that and paste it onto like your desktop if you like. Now, go ahead and open up FileZilla. I'll leave a link to that in the description to download it as well. Now, you want to go ahead and go back to your server and go to the dashboard itself. Pardon me, not the dashboard. You want to go ahead and look at the FTP itself. You have to make sure you remember your password that you put it for as well. So here is the username. It says Fewest93532. In FileZilla, click this button here, open the site manager. Ignore that. Click new site, Minecraft server. Now under host, you gotta look for the IP address, which is right here. Go and copy that and paste it in. Do not mess with the port. It should always be left alone because it's automatically set to 21. Now, on logon type, change it from anonymous to normal. Delete that. The user is Fewest_93532, which is right here. And under password, obviously you put your password and hit connect. Now, as you can tell, after you ran your server for the first time, you get all this here. However, there is something missing. It's the server.jar. It's because I moved it out just to be safe. All you have to do is just click and drag it over here, and it'll take the server.jar itself. Now, here's that spigot-1.8-r0.1-snapshot.jar. Go ahead and click it, drag it over, not into the folders itself, but into here, and let go. It will transfer it over for you, and wait for it to complete. After you have successfully moved it over, go ahead and right click and click rename. Now, I want you to rename it, keep the .jar and put server. That's the actual name for it. You just rename it to that. Now, I already have two custom plugins I would like to add. How do you add them? Go to the plugins folder here and drag them over. That's it. Now, go ahead and minimize FileZilla and go back to the server page itself. Go to Control or wherever it is located for you and start the server. Now, after you have started the server, go and go to the console and wait for it to completely finish everything it's doing. As you can see, it's actually loading up the bukkit plugins itself and also rendering and preparing the spawn areas themselves as well. Now, as you can tell, it's finished everything. If you would like to actually modify the config files for it, you'll have to have a program called Notepad++, or you could just use a regular Notepad. But to edit, say, the server welcome, click in the server welcome folder and right click on the config.yml, click view/edit, and you can change it here. But it won't take any effect until you actually stop the server. So go back to the server itself and stop it. There you go. Go and minimize that down. Now, under where it says server name, it says my server. I'm going to change it to like FW Gaming Nation. Whoop. Do not hit enter like I did. Now, notice how it says join first message. Welcome to my server player name. I like to do this. Welcome to the FW Gaming Nation. Now, go ahead and hit right click, not right click, but go ahead and hit save. Now, it will take, sometimes it will, and sometimes it will not recognize as you actually editing it as well. It'll take a little while, sometimes it will, and sometimes it won't recognize it. But after you've done that, go ahead and close it down. I keep hitting F5, or you just right click and refresh to make sure you got all the files. Now go ahead and minimize that. Go back to the server dashboard itself, and go ahead and start the server again. After you started it once more, make sure to always check the console to see if it has ran into any problems. So far as it's booting up, no problems. Everything's going good. And it's preparing the spawn area. And it's already got it all booted up.